The EU Pay Transparency Directive is due to be implemented in Ireland by June 2026, and it will significantly change how employers approach pay, recruitment, and progression. Once transposed, the directive will introduce extensive new compliance and reporting obligations in an area where employee expectations around governance, culture, and diversity are already high. At its core, the directive is about transparency. Employers will be required to provide information concerning their organisation on a range of data points, including the gender pay gap between employees broken down into categories of workers that do the same or work of equal value. This will need to be broken down by ordinary basic wage or salary and complementary or variable components. In certain circumstances, those figures will trigger a mandatory pay audit, known as a joint pay assessment. The directive also reshapes recruitment practices. Employers will need to disclose pay or pay ranges in job advertisements and will be prohibited from asking candidates about their salary history. Employees' rights are expanded under the directive as well. Workers will be entitled to request and receive information about their own pay and average pay levels, broken down by gender, again for categories of workers performing the same work or work of equal value to theirs. Employers with more than 50 workers will be required to share the criteria they use to determine workers' pay levels, and pay progression. Employers will need clear internal processes to respond within strict timeframes. Where an employee claims that their employer has failed to comply with certain obligations under the directive, the burden of proof will also shift to the employer from the outset to prove that there has been no direct or indirect discrimination regarding pay, increasing employer exposure. Although Ireland is still in the early stages of transposition, the direction of travel is clear. Employers should be using this lead-in time to audit pay data, define categories of workers, review recruitment practices, and stress test gender pay gap reporting, and look for any obvious gaps. Early preparation will be critical to getting ahead of this and managing risk once the new regime takes effect.